Imagine receiving a phone call from someone you know and love.
Eric, I'm waiting for you.
Now imagine that person has been dead for years. This is the chilling reality for some people who have experienced phone calls from beyond the grave. Charles Peck was a 49-year-old man with a loving family and a bright future ahead. He worked as a customer service agent for Delta Airlines and was on his way to Los Angeles to meet his fiancée, Andrea Katz. On September 12, 2008, Charles boarded a Metrolink train, unaware that this would be his final journey. The Metrolink train crash of 2008 is etched in the annals of history as one of the deadliest train disasters in the United States. The train collided head-on with a Union Pacific freight train in Chatsworth, California, due to an engineer's error. The impact was devastating, resulting in the deaths of 25 passengers and injuring over 100 others. Charles Peck was among those who lost their lives in the crash. Here's where the story takes a turn into the eerie and unexplained. In the hours following the crash, Charles's family members began receiving phone calls from his cell phone. His fiancée, Andrea, his son, his brother, and his stepmother all received calls from Charles's number. In total, 35 calls were made from his phone. Each time they answered, they were met with silence or static. When they tried to call back, the calls went straight to voicemail. These calls gave the family a glimmer of hope that Charles might still be alive, trapped in the wreckage. His son believed that his father was trying to reach out for help. The calls continued throughout the night and into the next morning, keeping the family on edge and desperate for answers. The rescuers worked tirelessly, digging through the wreckage in hopes of finding survivors. Eventually, they discovered Charles's body. Unfortunately, he had died on impact, and his phone was never found. The calls stopped shortly after his body was recovered. This incident has baffled investigators and experts alike. How could Charles's phone make calls if it was either destroyed or lost in the wreckage? Some believe it was a technical glitch or a case of phantom calls, where a malfunction causes a phone to redial recent numbers. However, the sheer number of calls and the timing make this explanation less convincing. Others speculate that it might have been Charles's spirit trying to reach out to his loved ones, offering them one last message of hope and love. The calls provided a sense of closure for the family, even though they remain an unsolved mystery. Charles Peck's story is a chilling reminder of the thin line between life and death and the unexplained phenomena that sometimes occur in the wake of tragedy. In the quiet coastal town of Otsuchi, Japan, there exists a phone booth unlike any other. Known as the Wind Phone, this old-fashioned telephone booth stands in the garden of Itaru Sasaki. What makes it unique is that it has no connection to any telephone network, yet it serves as a lifeline for those seeking to communicate with their lost loved ones. The Wind Phone was installed by Itaru Sasaki in 2010, a year before the devastating Tohoku earthquake and tsunami. Sasaki had lost his cousin and found solace in speaking to him through the disconnected phone. He believed that by doing so, he could express his feelings and stay connected to his cousin's spirit. On March 11, 2011, a massive earthquake and subsequent tsunami struck Japan, causing unprecedented destruction. The disaster claimed nearly 16,000 lives, with thousands more missing. Otsuchi was one of the towns hit hardest by the tsunami, and many residents lost family members and friends. After the tsunami, the Wind Phone became a sanctuary for grief-stricken residents. People would visit the phone booth to call their deceased loved ones, pouring out their hearts, sharing memories, and expressing their sorrow. Although the phone wasn't connected, many visitors reported extraordinary experiences. Some visitors claimed to hear faint voices or feel a presence while using the phone. One woman reported feeling her late husband's hand on her shoulder as she spoke to him. Another man heard his daughter's laughter through the static, providing him with a sense of peace and closure. Psychologists suggest that these experiences might be the result of intense grief and the human mind's need to find comfort. The Wind Phone provides a space for people to articulate their emotions, offering a therapeutic outlet for their grief. However, others believe that the phone serves as a conduit to the spirit world, allowing the dead to communicate with the living. The wind phone has become a symbol of hope and healing, attracting visitors from all over Japan and even from abroad. It stands as a testament to the enduring human spirit and the need for connection, even in the face of unimaginable loss. Whether you view it as a psychological coping mechanism or a supernatural phenomenon, the wind phone continues to provide solace to those who seek to bridge the gap between the living and the dead. In the quaint town of Sundsvall, Sweden, a series of mysterious phone calls turned the lives of its residents upside down. These unsettling calls, which occurred in the dead of night, left the townspeople frightened and bewildered. The incidents began in the early 2000s. Sundsvall, known for its peaceful atmosphere and tight-knit community, suddenly found itself in the grip of an unexplained phenomenon. Several residents reported receiving strange phone calls late at night. These calls were brief, often lasting only a few seconds, but they were incredibly disturbing. The caller never spoke, and all that could be heard was heavy breathing or eerie, indistinguishable noises. Maria, a resident of Sundsvall, received her first call around midnight. When she answered, she heard what sounded like someone whispering her name, followed by static. She hung up, but the calls kept coming, sometimes several times a night. Maria wasn't alone. Dozens of her neighbors experienced similar incidents, creating a sense of panic in the town. One of the most chilling incidents involved Eric, a widower. He received a call that seemed to mimic the voice of his late wife, who had passed away a few years earlier. The voice on the other end said,
Eric, I'm waiting for you.
Before the line went dead. Eric was shaken to his core, unable to comprehend how such a call could be possible. Concerned and frightened, the residents contacted the local police. An investigation was launched, but the authorities found no evidence of any wrongdoing. The calls couldn't be traced, and there was no logical explanation for the phenomenon. The town was left with more questions than answers, and the fear and confusion only grew. Several theories have been proposed to explain the night caller. Some believe it was the work of a prankster with a twisted sense of humor, using technology to create fear. Others think it might have been an elaborate hoax, orchestrated to unsettle the community. There are also those who consider the possibility of mass hysteria, where the power of suggestion and fear spread rapidly among the residents. However, a few residents are convinced that the calls were supernatural in nature. They believe that spirits or otherworldly entities were trying to communicate from beyond the grave. The mystery of the night caller remains unsolved, and the calls eventually stopped as abruptly as they began. Yet, the experience left an indelible mark on the town of Sundsvall, a chilling reminder of the unexplained phenomena that can disrupt even the most peaceful of communities. In the sprawling state of Texas, a young woman named Teresa experienced an event that would forever alter her understanding of life and death. Teresa was no stranger to grief, having lost her beloved grandmother a year prior. Their bond had been unbreakable, and her passing left a void in Teresa's heart. Teresa's grandmother had been a pillar of strength and wisdom in her life. She was the matriarch of the family, known for her warmth, her stories, and her unwavering love. When she passed away after a prolonged illness, Teresa was devastated. She often found herself wishing she could hear her grandmother's voice one more time. One evening, Teresa was at home, sorting through some old family photos, when her phone rang. It was an unknown number, so she decided to let it go to voicemail. A few minutes later, curiosity got the better of her, and she listened to the message. To her astonishment, the voice on the other end was unmistakably her grandmother's.
Teresa, it's me. I just wanted to tell you that I'm okay and I love you.
The message said, before abruptly ending. Teresa was initially in disbelief. She replayed the message multiple times, each time confirming that it was indeed her grandmother's voice. The message was clear, loving, and unmistakably personal. She immediately shared the voicemail with her family, who were equally shocked and emotional upon hearing it. Determined to understand how this was possible, Teresa contacted her phone service provider. After a thorough investigation, the provider confirmed that there were no records of calls from that number, nor were there any technical issues that could explain the message. The phone number from which the call originated was untraceable, adding to the mystery. The voicemail brought Teresa a sense of peace and closure. She felt as though her grandmother was reaching out from beyond the grave to offer comfort and reassurance. The message was a powerful reminder of their bond, and it helped Teresa cope with her grief in a profound way. Experts have debated the possible explanations for Teresa's experience. Some suggest it could be a case of auditory pareidolia, where the brain interprets random sounds as familiar voices. Others theorize it might have been a technical glitch or even a sophisticated prank. However, no explanation has been able to fully account for the specificity and clarity of the message. While some skeptics dismiss the incident as a coincidence or a technical anomaly, Teresa firmly believes that the message was a genuine communication from her grandmother. The experience has strengthened her belief in an afterlife and provided her with a lasting sense of connection to her loved one. Teresa's story is a testament to the enduring power of love and the mysteries that surround our existence. Whether the voicemail was a message from beyond or an unexplained glitch, it brought comfort and closure to a grieving heart. It reminds us that sometimes the most extraordinary experiences can occur in the most ordinary moments. In the end, the ghostly message in Texas remains a poignant and mysterious chapter in Teresa's life. It challenges our understanding of reality and offers a glimpse into the possible connections between the living and the deceased. Thank you for watching Creepy Cinema. If you enjoyed this exploration into the eerie and unknown, please like, share, and subscribe for more spine-tingling stories. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.